It's time to get the Woolala lowdown on Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition.
Sir, British frigates are shelling the colony.
Originally released in 2005, Age of Empires 3 is, as the name suggests, the third installment in the Age of Empires series. These games are regarded as classics and some of the best in the real-time strategy genre. The Definitive Edition is a remaster of the original game, with all the previous expansions included and some new content. There's plenty of game modes and challenges on offer, but throughout them, the core gameplay remains the same. You use villagers to collect resources to build your base. There are trees to chop, farms to harvest, and gold to mine. If you're lucky, you can even go fishing for whales, which give you money. Oh, I love whales. The animal, not the country. It's then time to train your army of various troop classes, so that you can defeat your enemies and be victorious. Each time you level up, you can also send yourself shipments from your hometown, beefing up your colony with useful units and upgrades. These hometown cities can also be customized, but it's not very exciting. Oh, a new cosmetic for my cathedral. Hang on a minute, is it just me or are these exactly the same? The game offers 3 lengthy story campaigns to play through, which give you different scenarios that mix things up a bit. You'll take on missions such as destroying the Fountain of Youth before it can fall into the wrong hands.
We've done it!
Or capturing supply wagons as your only mean of resources.
Come on!
I'm usually a fan of playing these games nice and slowly, building up a big base and an even bigger army. But the story campaigns encourage you to try different strategies. They're well crafted, if a bit easy, and give you a varied experience. You can also play mini challenges, which test your skills and help teach you to be better at the game. Or historical battles, which recreate famous events. I don't know how accurate these are because I'm not much of a history buff myself, but they were still a bit of fun and flair, and it's a chance to play as a bunch of civilizations. They're all similar but different, with units that fill the same kind of roles, but tweaked to fit each style. Each civilization also has differing perks. For example, instead of building houses that only increase the population cap, the Japanese build shrines, which also produce a small amount of resources. It's really cool, and especially shines in the freeform skirmish mode, which is my personal absolute favorite way to play. You get to choose a civilization that suits your playstyle. It's fun seeing all the civilizations' different looks and way of doing things.
Those soldiers, they're Russian.
Well, tell them to slow down. But they've also tweaked quite a few things about how various civilizations are shown. Back in 2005, it was common for there to be inaccurate and stereotypical representations of certain people, particularly indigenous communities. And much to the developers' credit, they've used this opportunity to set the record straight. When you first boot the game, it has a message about the steps they've taken and ways the gameplay has been changed. These changes feel seamless, with the core of the game remaining the same, whilst being more accurate and respectful. This is super cool, and I'm really glad the developers made those changes and put them front and center. I think there's still a few funny things in there, but I'm a big advocate of being nice, having fun, and keeping on gaming. And making games more respectful is a big part of being nice. The Definitive Edition also tweaks the game with fresh graphics and music, which is done well, and an array of user interface choices. But things can still feel sluggish or unpolished at times. A bit of a shame to define the game with that. You know, I have played and loved all of the Age of Empires games, with 2 always being the absolute standout. With Definitive Editions now out for all 3 games, I feel like that judgment still stands. Small differences in gameplay, such as villagers not needing to carry resources back to a hub for them to be collected, makes 3 feel like a more forgiving game. But the hometown and shipment system of 3 also makes it feel more complex. Less challenge, yet a bit more confusion, doesn't put 3 at the top, but it's still a solid bit of fun. I'm giving Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.